Hi, everyone. I'm Gloria Gavin with Resonai, one of the exhibitors here at AWE, and we are in the retail and e-commerce track. The next session is AR for e-commerce. This is the most relevant use of AR today. Our speaker is John Chaney, founder and CEO for Seek AR, who will be talking to us in a little bit. And just a couple quick housekeeping notes. First of all, you can ask questions and we'll have John live right after the presentation. So please text your questions. Don't forget to attend the Augie Awards, which will be on the main live stream May 29th at 11:50. And just as a reminder, we'll be recording this session. It's available on demand just following the presentation. Finally, we'd like to thank our Titanium sponsors, HP, Microsoft, Qualcomm, and Unity. So with that, let's go over to John.
Hey, thanks so much for that intro. So glad to be here under different conditions than we expected when we first signed up for this, but again, grateful that I can be here to talk with you today. I'm actually in southern Utah right now. I'll give a quick screenshot. I know it's small up in the corner, but I've got a beautiful view lighting up my face right here. That's not one of those fancy Zoom backgrounds. I'm really here. But today I'm going to talk about AR for e-commerce and why I believe it's the most relevant use case for AR today. You know, there's so many ways, obviously we're here at AWE talking about the myriad of ways that we can deal with AR and use it to improve our lives. But from what I can see, and I might be biased a little bit, but I really believe that e-commerce is the strongest use case of that. So before we jump in, just a little bit about me so you know who I am. My name is John Chaney. I'm the CEO and founder of Seek. This is my wife and 4 beautiful kids. I love to be out and adventure. I'm out there right now doing that. Kayaking is one of my loves. I love to play the piano and compose. And I've spoken for the last 4 or 5 years about augmented reality many times in a lot of different places. And a few years ago, Seek really honed in on the e-commerce space. And we've done really well in that. So when I talk today, I hope I'm coming from a place of knowledge, and I can share something that will help. So again, the company is Seek, and for just a quick intro on what we do, you have brands like these ones on the right, all of which are our customers, that are trying to access a fairly fragmented system right now. There's lots of different devices, different file types, different protocols, different ways to approach and attack AR, and we sit right in the middle. And we make sure that these brands can just come right to us, and we help them with the whole system. Here are a few companies that we work with, and we can work with just about anybody. So that's what we do. We come from a position. I'm talking from a position where we work with brands all over the world and help them manage augmented reality content and e-commerce at scale. So let's dive in. I looked at this is actually from this morning. Opened the news and saw this. U.S. retail sales plunged a record 16% in April as virus hit. So obviously we're in a very unique situation right now with coronavirus and everything that's going on there. People are dealing with that. Some companies are going out of business. Others are figuring out ways to make things happen. And on the other side, U.S. e-commerce sales jumped 49% in April, right? Led by online grocery. Who would have thought that online grocery was going to explode this year in 2020, but people figure out how to adapt. They figure out how to get to the next thing. This was another very interesting thing. So marketing spend in the last few months, there have been some brands, and this is really about how brands have reacted to it, right? If you look at brands that have pulled back on marketing spending, right, they dropped by 42% in February. Their direct to consumer sales went down by about 40%. People said, you know what, let's stay the course. We're just gonna crank through this crisis, and they actually spent a little bit more, right, in February, right? They're up 8% versus a year ago. So that's interesting. And then there was a third group that said, you know what, we're going all in on e-commerce right now. And those that leaned in, 95, they doubled their spend versus February and March and April, and now they're seeing a 70% lift versus a year ago. So So the reason I share this, right, I'm not talking about marketing spend, but augmented reality is very, very similar to this. We have a lot of brands. We actually have some customers that dropped off. They said, we got to cut all spending, and they just dropped it off. And we have others that came to us and said, can you speed this up? How fast can you get this launched for us? And those that took that more aggressive approach are just seeing incredible results using augmented reality on their website, right? And there's certain industries where it's almost a necessity. You can't walk into an IKEA in a lot of places, or a car dealership, or an Ashley furniture store, and these are all places that some of which have used augmented reality, and that's great, but their physical locations are down, and so augmented reality is important. How big is this car? Is it going to fit in my garage? How big is this TV? How big is this couch? And can we use augmented reality to answer those questions? So I think that's pretty interesting. So over the last decade or so, we've seen Pokemon Go and games and lots of different applications for augmented reality. You have medical and you have all these different things, navigation here. I believe that all of these are good. They're awesome. In fact, Seek was started as a gaming company, as a gaming marketing company. We were like Pokemon Go for brands. But then we moved and shifted over to this because the reason I say that AR for e-commerce is the most relevant use case today is because the ROI is there. It's measurable. You can actually see it, and it's ready to go. Augmented reality can make a big impact on sales today. Let's go ahead and play that video.
Here we have a 1950s American shopper. The pleasure of purchasing without ever entering a store. You see, the ways in which we shop have always been evolving. Tuning in to the latest advancements in technology to bring the things that we love to buy closer and closer into our daily existence. As time marched forward and the internet brought new possibility, how we shop was poised to change at a faster pace than ever before, which it did at first, until it stopped. But now is the time for a customer experience revolution. With augmented reality, we can finally do more than just see a product. We can experience it within our own lives. What's next in online shopping is happening now.
Get there today with Seek.
Thank you for playing that. So as you can see in our video here, a nice kind of funny video that we worked on to show that e-commerce has been waiting to be changed for a while, or really, I guess, at-home commerce is what this was talking about, right? We went back to the 50s and talked about, hey, catalogs. We've been shopping basically the same for 50, 60, 70 years, where we're looking at a picture, we're looking at some text and a price, and then we take some action to place an order. And there's all kinds of great things that improve 2-day shipping and returns and better videos and pictures and things like that. But as this customer experience has evolved, as you can see on this slide here, right? We've gone from photos in the 90s to videos in the 2000s, and even today, both these are still relevant. But now we can bring that content into our customers' lives, right? Into your prospective customers' lives. That's such a difference. It's such a mindset difference. So we're going to talk today just about a few of those things that make how does that really impact the buying experience and the shopper, right? So obviously we're providing an experience. There's visualization involved at a level that's much improved over pictures and video. It's personalized, and in the end, the most important thing, it builds trust. So we're going to talk about first of all, experience. I don't know about you guys, but anybody that I have watched, I have this opportunity a lot. I see people try augmented reality for the first time, or maybe they've tried it in the past and it was bad, and they try a good experience and they just go, wow, that's cool, right? And so if you have retailer A versus retailer B, retailer A is just doing things as normal, and retailer B has augmented reality and lets you get all this information and has this wow experience, they're going to come back to retailer B. They're going to go to the place where they had the better experience, right? And so go ahead and try it right now. If you're able to, you can just pull up your camera on your phone, wherever you are in the world watching this, and you can scan this QR code, and it will actually bring up I think this is a surfboard or something. I don't remember what model I put in here, but I opened up my camera, pointed at it, and now I've got a surfboard sitting right here on the deck in front of me, right? And I can go into 3D mode too. This is just the iOS viewer, right? And I'm looking at this nice, beautiful surfboard, and you can kind of see it here. But anyway, the point is now it's web-based, right? We can do this on iOS, on Android. You don't need to build a very expensive, fancy app anymore that you have to keep updated. It's just going to work. And that's a good, fun, clean experience that has gotten a lot better in recent days. So visualization, I know this is obvious, an obvious benefit to augmented reality, but it's important. People want to understand the product before they buy it, and understanding what it looks like right there, right in their office, right, makes a big difference. Does it fit? Does it match? Do I like it in my home? Do I like it in my space? And obviously this is going to affect returns, because they're going to find out, okay, look, that's going to fit there, instead of the couch shows up and, oh man, we can't even walk through our living room now because this couch is taking up the whole thing. So it increases confidence, and therefore improves sales conversion, and speeds up the decision time to actually make a purchase. And those are measurable results that you can track with Google Analytics and say, yep, that made a difference, right? And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for ways that are easy and that make a measurable impact. That's what we're trying to get to in the entire augmented reality industry. And a lot of things are getting there, but they're just not quite there yet, whereas e-commerce has really gotten there. Personalization is huge these days. People want every element of their experience to be personalized. And what is more personalized than pulling up your camera and seeing your product in their space, or your shoe on their foot, your sunglasses on their face? That is as personalized an experience as you can get. As much as it's great that we're providing these great experiences, and as important as it is to do that piece, it's just as important to avoid and prevent the bad experience. What you don't want is for somebody to order something, have it show up, doesn't fit, doesn't look right, it's not right. Now they have to deal with a complicated sale or a return process, and it's not fun, right? Dissatisfied customers talk about their experience more. People said, hey, the picture looked like this, but then it showed up and it was huge, don't get it. You've all received those reviews, and you wish that you would have maybe had a better way to tell them, well, this is how it really is. You're confident in your product, it's a great product. They just didn't maybe have all the information they needed, and augmented reality can help them avoid that bad experience. I'd much rather somebody see my cool office table that I have for sale online available, and they look at it and say, oh man, that's really cool, but it's too big, it doesn't fit. Next one, right? They just avoided that bad experience in 10 seconds of trying something. And that technology is great. That use case is a big time. So in the end, people want to trust you more, right? They want to trust the retailer more. When they can see the car, when they can see it in their life, when they can see whatever it is they're shopping for. And right now people are shopping online more than ever. But when they can see it, they trust you more because you gave them all the information, right? It's going to reduce the decision-making time. People are going to come back to you again because they say, hey, last time I went to X retailer, I made a good decision because they had this amazing tool for me to let me see what it really was going to look like. It's also really fun. People are more likely to share. It's just this trust builds on itself when you provide that augmented reality experience. Across the board, we see about a 25% reduction in returns when AR is used in the experience. 2020, at least the predictions from last year to this year, it might actually be bigger given that e-commerce grew so much this year, but about $1 trillion in e-commerce returns. And despite the fact that that's millions of bad experiences happening out there, it's bad for the environment and landfills and wasted product and returns and loss of profits. I mean, there are so many bad things happening there when customers have to return. We want to do everything we can to avoid that return process. I mean, there are literally warehouses that companies have to rent out just to deal with returns, especially furniture and big products. Costco selling big massage chairs and all kinds of stuff that they just don't have anywhere to put it, right? And so, and then they have to repackage it, sell it for less, and it's just a loss all across the board. So whatever you can do to help people make that better decision early is better. So one of our customers, Overstock, this case study that we ran with them, we saw about 150% increase conversion over 2 months for products that had AR versus those that did not. And I don't know what else I can say about that, but that's a big difference. There's no question that furniture, appliances, big objects have the largest impact, but we typically see anywhere from 30% and above increased sales conversion when augmented reality is used to look at a product. So we want to help. If anybody that's watching this, this is just an offer we're throwing out there. We want to make sure that people can get into this, even if they're just dipping their toe in the water. We'll help you dip your toe. We'll help you show that it works for you. So we'll do that. Send a quick note to me. And I'll like introduce you to someone on my team. We've got a big team that's doing amazing things, but send it to me and I'll make sure we get this going for you. But we'll do 10 3D models for free. We'll get it installed for free. Normally we charge a lot of money for all these things, and we'll give you 2 months for free, right? We want to help. This is kind of our coronavirus, thing that we can do to help. We've been helping a lot of brands get up and running. We're actually currently installing more people right now than we did all of last year. And so this is growing. We're very excited that the technology has gotten to a point where it can be used on any device. It's web-based. You don't need apps anymore. It's just easier now, and it makes a huge impact. So thank you so much for listening. Again, here's my contact information. Feel free to send me a text. That's my cell number, email address. And if you're ever in Lehi, Utah, please come by our office. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Great, Sean, thank you. That was a great presentation. Very interesting. Couple quick questions. We have time for one or two. First, can you give us your thought on, these applications that you described for e-commerce seem wonderful. Do you see applications that kind of help bridge the physical in-store shopping with the e-commerce world? What are your thoughts there?
No question, yeah. Because everything we do is web-based, it's accessible really, really quickly, right? You don't have to download an app. When you're in store shopping around, you don't want to have to download something to scan something. So you could just use your phone, and the store can have a QR code right on their tags or right on their signage and say, hey, see other variations of this here in store. Or the example I love is if you're furniture shopping, that couch looks great there in the store, but what's it going to look like in your home? So grab this QR code here, and yeah, you can see it right there in person, but then take it home, view it in your room, and then complete the order right there online. So I think it kind of bridges that in-store to online interaction.
Yeah, fantastic. Interesting. What about data analytics? How is this helping, if at all, in terms of collecting, even more data, or bridging that gap, physical and e-commerce? Any comments there in terms of data analytics?
Well, I mean, we're constantly measuring numbers. We're numbers obsessed. We want to look. We always work with our partners to say, hey, what is this? What kind of impact is this having? And I mentioned a few statistics in there related to returns, related to increase in sales conversion, and things like that. But bottom line is, we know that augmented reality is a very engaging technology, and when people are using it, they're first of all showing a high level of interest, and second of all, it actually does help convert. So we're constantly looking at those numbers and seeing them make a positive impact in a lot of ways.
And a final question: do you have the AR feature in Amazon's latest mobile app? Are you familiar with those features, and do you have any thoughts for our audience?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Amazon is the largest store in the world. And so anytime they do something, looking at it, they do a few things well, and a lot of things that we would improve upon, but certainly glad that they're there. One of the things that we're working on as we continue to be this kind of glue that sits in the middle of the entire industry, we work with all of these people. We work with Google and Apple, and Amazon is one of the ones that we're adding, and we're working with Snapchat and with Facebook and all these different groups to make sure that when a brand comes to Seek that says, hey, I want my AR to work everywhere, that includes on their own website, in store, on Amazon, on Snapchat, on Facebook, wherever it is. So, you know, we're obviously very closely following all of those things and working with companies to help them be able to access the entire ecosystem.
Great. Well, thanks again, John. Great presentation. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great day. See you.